What's up, Met fans? Welcome back. Talkin Mets with Rob. How's everybody doing? Before I get started talking about two Mets potential trades, don't forget, guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit on that like button. If you enjoy all my content, want to see more, want to get notified when I post my videos and when I go live, you guys know what to do. Hit on that subscribe button, everybody. All right, guys. So, two potential Mets trades that I can see happening if things don't work out in free agency regarding another position player and another big-time starting pitcher, which rumors have it over the last couple of days that reporters been saying that the Mets were trying to get Gausman and Scherzer and looking to make another big splash position player-wise in the free agent market. But if some way, somehow, the Mets lose out on another starting pitcher and another position player in the free agent market, I think there's two potential big-time trades that can not only bring a position player, but also a starting pitcher as well. The two teams that can trade with the New York Mets that have both needs of the New York Mets is the Cleveland Guardians and the Cincinnati Reds. Now, you're going to start thinking of players in your head that potentially can be big-time players that can come back in the Mets. But when you have to remember, guys, you're going to have to give up something to get something. With these two trades that I'm going to tell you, I'm also going to go over the stats of those players that the Mets can potentially get in these trades and their contract situations. So, two different trades, two different teams, the Reds and the Guardians. The first one we're going to start with the Cincinnati Reds. Now, when you think of the Cincinnati Reds, you think of one guy in particular, and that is Louise Castillo. That's who I'm looking at right now, where the New York Mets can potentially get Louise Castillo in a trade that will potentially bring Louise Castillo to the Mets, along with another player that we're going to look at the trade just now. So the Mets and the Reds can potentially make a trade, big time trade, together. Who are the players that would be involved in a potential trade between the Mets and the Cincinnati Reds? Well, we're going to look at it right here, guys. All right, guys. So the trade proposal that I give between the two teams is this. Ramirez, number 3 prospect in the Mets system. Estimated time of arrival in the majors is 2022. Obviously, he is a shortstop. The second guy on the list, Jaylen Palmer, who is the 14th ranked prospect in the Mets system and estimated time of arrival of 2024. He is an infielder, but also can play all three outfield positions as well with tremendous speed. And the Reds will give the Mets Louise Castillo and which the Mets need, Louise Cesar, who is a pretty darn good relief pitcher for the Reds and before was with the Yankees. We're going to go over these guys' stats in a little bit, Louise Castillo and Louise Cesar, but this is the trade that I proposed to the Reds, Ronnie Mauricio and Jaylen Palmer for Louise Castillo and Louise Cesar. It's obviously two guys in your top 20 that will really, really hurt our minor league system. But when you think at it and put it in perspective, guys, what you would have to look at here. Ronnie Mauricio is our shortstop in the minor league system. He is blocked by Francisco Lindor. And at the most part, if the Mets don't make no free agent signings and keep the guys that they have, are either blocked by Robinson Cano and Jeff McNeil in second base. And at third base, Eduardo Escobar, J.D. Davis. Now you could say Mauricio can easily play better than any of those guys. Potentially. But when he's blocked, and you can use him as a big bargaining chip, and then bring another guy like Louise Castillo in your rotation with Scherzer and DeGrom, you have one of the best pitching rotations in baseball. No doubt about that. And then on top of that, get a relief pitcher who has really been really good with the Yankees and the Reds in Louise Cesar putting in your bullpen with May, with Diaz, is a nice addition to that bullpen. When you look at Luis Castillo's stats last year, he had a 3.98 ERA, 1.36 WHIP, 192 strikeouts, and an 8-16 record. Let's not go big on the wins-loss record because he was with the Reds. So, again, the ERA 3.98, not great, but in his second half, he really started to get it going. He had over a 4.5 ERA in the first half, so he dropped that down nearly 0.5 in his ERA, which is absolutely excellent, and that's a dominant pitcher that the Mets can actually add to that rotation. When it comes to Louise Cesar, he was 5-2 with a 2.51 ERA, 1.14 WHIP with 54 strikeouts. No doubt about it, guys. Cesar is a dominant relief pitcher who's been good for a couple of years now, and to add him into that trade proposal with Luis Castillo is going to hurt a little bit prospect-wise for the Mets to give up, which is Jalen Palmer and Ronnie Mauricio. Luis Castillo still has 2 years left on his contract, including this year, 2022 and 2023, for $7.5 million. Not too bad at all. That's why you're going to have to give up some good prospects to get Luis Castillo. And then when it comes to Luis Cesar, he's only making $1.5 million, has 2 years left on his contract as well in 2022 and 2023. So he will begin an increase in salary in 2023 when it comes to his last arbitration eligible year. So the trade proposal for the Reds and the Mets, Ronnie Mauricio and Jalen Palmer to the Reds for Luis Castillo and Luis Cesar. That is the first trade proposal that I propose for the Mets to do if the free agent market does not work out for them for a pitcher and or a position player. The next trade that is involved is obviously the Cleveland Guardians. Not a fan of the name, but that's besides the point. That's not our problem, is it, Met fans? So, when it comes to a trade between the Mets and the Guardians, there might be one name that comes to mind. There might be two names that come to mind. This is the trade proposal that I propose for the Guardians and the Mets. The Mets will give up J.D. Davis, Ronnie Mauricio, and Robert Dominguez in a trade for Jose Ramirez and Shane Bieber. When we look at that, that is a trade that I think the Mets can make easily. It's two players in their top 10. Potentially, Robert Dominguez is going to be a really good starter. Estimated time of arrival of 2024. And obviously, Ronnie Mauricio. You see, I keep on putting Mauricio in these trades because I think he is blocked by many players on the Major League roster already, not included in the minor leagues at third base with Vientos and Beatty. So the potential spot he might have is second base, but if the Mets keep Jeff McNeil and already have Escobar, you're already blocking him at second base. So use Mauricio in a trade. That would be perfect for a trade like this with Shane Bieber and Jose Ramirez. Jose Ramirez batted .266, 36 home runs and 103 RBIs. Big time numbers. All-star player, big time performance. His contract looks, he also got 2 more years in his contract in 2022 and 2023. Has a $12 million salary in 2022 and a club option in 2023. So the Mets have the option to pick it up in 2023, which is very, very appealing to the New York Mets. And it's obviously good for the Cleveland Guardians because they want to shed that money from Jose Ramirez's contract. It just makes sense, guys. It's a decent trade. Really good trade that I believe. And then when it comes to Shane Bieber, 7-4, 3.17 ERA, 1.21 WHIP, 134 strikeouts. When you look at his contract, he has 3 years left. 2022, $5.5 million. has a second and third arbitration in 2023 and 2024, which Cleveland has to give an incentive to the Mets because they are picking up the money from Ramirez contract. Yes, we are giving up 3 players in Davis, Ronnie Mauricio, and Robert Dominguez, but to have Jose Ramirez in his prime at third base for most likely 2 more years, and Shane Bieber at 27, 28, 29 years old at around $5.5 million. Obviously, with his 2 arbitration eligible years, it's going to go up to probably $6 or $7, $8 or $9 million. But this is the trade that the Mets could make if free agency does not work out in the pitching market or the position player market. This is an excellent trade, guys. I cannot say this enough. The trade proposal for the Cleveland Guardians and the New York Mets: J.D. Davis, Ronnie Mauricio, Robert Dominguez, the number 3 and number 10 prospect, going to the Guardians for Jose Ramirez and Shane Bieber. Those are your 2 potential trades if the Mets don't get what they want in the free agent market, in the starting rotation, and position player wise. That's what I think the Mets should do, guys. Once again, guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit on that like button. If you enjoy all my content, want to see more, want to get notified when I post my videos and when I go live, you guys know what to do. Hit on that subscribe button, everybody. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of these 2 potential trades that I brought up. Would you do them trades, or do you think it's too much, or would you propose another trade? Let me know in the comments, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, Met fans, let's go Mets.